Hello, Ectosage here on the Sage channel, and today, a good old Tuesday, has seen yet another update to Medieval Engineers. Now, I have a little tiny, well, display world here. I'm going to go ahead and show you around what they added. Now, right away, you'll notice something in here. Instead of me having a bunch of small boxes or something to make clutter, and of course the standard chairs, I have these nice big boxes. And they've added more boxes because you can actually store stuff in them now. And I'll actually get more to that in a minute. There's something else they've added right now, and that would be an axe. So if I was to actually go ahead and hop into spectator mode, fly up here, you can see I am holding a lovely little axe. And you can of course take that and chop your crates apart and ruin your room if you like, which I have no idea exactly why you'd want to ruin your room, but there you go. But the main intention of this axe is for cutting down trees. Now, you can cut down trees and break apart other wooden things with pretty much any tool, but an axe will do it a lot quicker. So let's really quickly go ahead and start chopping away at this tree, and timber, there it goes. Dear Lordy God, help me. Okay, so there we go, it's come on down, and then of course we can go ahead and chop this up and break it apart. And we can also, there we go, it stopped rolling, take it and keep chopping, and it'll break it up into tiny little pieces here. Now, there's no use for them yet. I can go ahead and levitate one up here. If I can click on it, there we go. There we go. So you can see we got a bit of scrap wood here. I'm sure there'll be a very good use for it in the future. Now you might be saying, well, that's not exactly the most useful thing right now though, and doesn't make much sense. So let's cut off another piece here, and now let's right click on it. Instead of left clicking to cut it down, you see a different animation plays, and you basically have now refined it. It'll even pop out a few more of these little scraps, like you're trimming it off the edges, of course. And if that'll make you a nice little cube block here. Now, can we cut this in half? I don't believe so currently. No, unfortunately right now it just breaks. So I'm not exactly sure how you'd get lengths that you, really small lengths if you wanted them. Let's go ahead and chop down another tree here. Let's go ahead and run on the other side just in case it tries to roll away. Now let's try to chop a small piece right here, just a little tiny piece right off the edge. And no, oops. Unfortunately, it doesn't take the width of the actual trunk of the tree into account here when it creates these logs, but unfortunately you cannot get short little pieces of logs yet either, apparently. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but I'm sure they'll refine that. Anyway, once again though, we can right click and it turns into a square log here. Now you can go ahead and right click it again, and you see this animation plays. I'm just holding down the animation, there we go, and it turns it into a rounded log, so you can roll that down the hill if you like, or whatever you want to use those for. And let's see what happens here if I right click it again. Nope, doesn't look like it'll do anything. In fact, it just looks like it's doing the block animation whenever I do that now. So there you go. You can go ahead and refine those twice. And I'm now running through all the brushes of these trees. Anyway, there is more here, though. That's not the only two things you can do. You can actually go ahead, and if we were to go ahead and keep chopping here, there we go. You can see we've managed to knock off some of these little branches here, so we can actually go ahead and pick this up. Now, right now they don't have much of a use, but you can imagine in the future you might have uses for maybe burning them, who knows what, a bunch of other stuff I can imagine them using, even for making hay roofing or some sort of other type of roofing at least. But yeah, that's that. I think that's everything from a tree. I'm just going to go ahead and chop this one up a little bit more just to show how it breaks up, because of course, there you go, you might want to see that. So there we go. As I turn that piece at the top that did have all these branches on, you can see all the branches that have popped off, and they're all over the place. So there you go, you got a bunch of stuff there to collect. Now, what you would probably be doing with this a lot of times is probably, let's go ahead and chop down this tree. Looks like the bottom of it's already been severed or something. Yeah. Oh, well, ignore that tree, it's possessed. But what you would probably be doing, usually with chopping these down, is take down the tree, and that somehow knock down the other tree. Oh, dear God, everything's rolling. Grabbing your tool that you would, oh my God. Good thing I'm not in like some sort of survival mode, or that probably would have been the end of me. Oh, dear God, I heard more sounds. But breaking that down, going in here, grabbing your character tools. There's the axe, by the way. I have the manipulation tool, and now we can actually grab this. I think we should be able to at least. Nope, can we not grab it? It might be too heavy for us to actually get a good grip on and start pulling it along. Yeah, it looks like it's too heavy, so you'll actually end up having to cut these up and then taking them back to wherever you're trying to process more stuff or using them, I guess. But let's just go ahead and chop this up real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and now show you guys the storage system. So let's grab this piece here with the manipulation tool. It's a bit heavy. Remember, you can press the slash button or question mark, and yeah, there we go. And it'll slow you down so you move a little bit slower, so you don't necessarily do that. Dear God. Let's grab one of these that's already cut here, and let's walk very cautiously cross this way, and then run really quickly like a fool. There we go. And so we got that back here. And now we can go ahead and aim at this and press T, and it's actually just stored that huge log in there. In fact, we can pick this up, aim at it, and press T, and it stored that in there. We can actually go ahead, run back over here, and grab all sorts of stuff and start storing it in there. That's a stump. Can we actually get rid of stumps? Let's see. If you're wanting a clear place to build a building, well, that created a huge amount of smoke. Yes, you can clear stumps, and they'll even produce these little tiny pieces here. Now, unfortunately, at the time, I don't think you can pick up multiples of these. You'd expect to be able to pick up at least 3 or 4, but right now you can only pick up 1 at a time. Theoretically, what you could do, and I've just placed, oh, nope, pick it up, and then while you're aiming at that, by the way, it's press T to go in there. Theoretically, what you could do is pick up something like this and drop it like a fool. There we go, pick it up. Let's go ahead and turn on walk mode again with these slash, or question mark, or whatever you want to call it. I call it question mark because everyone knows where that is on their keyboard pretty quick. But what you can do, obviously, is go ahead and take a crate over to where you're working, drop it off, and then pick up the pieces and be storing them in there. Now, these crates don't have infinite size. In fact, they actually are very size specific, as in this big piece here, I don't think I'll actually be able to put it in that crate at all. Even if that crate was completely empty, I don't think it'll fit in there because the crate is too small for that piece. So they're actually sort of size specific. So again, left clicking with my manipulation tool to pick it up, and then pressing T to put it in there. So there we go. I think that's enough things randomly stuck in here. So let's go ahead and take this back over here. Now that it's right in front of me, I feel like I can run with it without too much of an issue. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any easy way to rotate the... Shoot. I right-clicked. Don't right-click with the manipulation tool. It throws things. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be any way to... I tried holding the right-click, you know, turn it around, but there's no way to manipulate them right now. Even though it's called the manipulation tool, it's no easy way to spin them so you can place them. And there's no way to make them snap to the ground. Like you can see here, this one snaps to the ground because I placed it like this. But this one I pressed J when I placed it, and I can push it around. And you can see that you can now store stuff inside of these. So if I was to go ahead and that chair snapped to the ground. If I was to go ahead and spawn in something else, let's say like a table. That's probably not going to... press J, there we go. And spawn that in there. I can theoretically pick this up. But I'm not going to be able to store it inside of these crates here because they're too small for it. So I can aim at the top, press T, nothing. So this is that size thing I was talking about with the branch. But I get over here to that one, it's a big crate. They seem to be able to store pretty much anything. I can go ahead and store the piece inside there. Now you might be saying, okay, cool, you've shown us some storage. You've shown us filling up a crate and dragging it back and accidentally throwing it into oblivion. But how do you get that stuff out? Well, you could just look at it if you have the manipulation tool selected on your hotbar and press T, and it'll take stuff out of there and you'll be holding it. So I've just taken out a big log. So again, we could do what we were doing earlier, and I didn't mean to right click that. I meant to right click it, not left click it. There we go. So we got all this stuff, and now you could go ahead and just be putting these pieces back in there. Now, you might be saying, okay, you got one thing out, Sage. That didn't really answer my question. That's not so useful. You're now storing a bunch of stuff in there. How are you going to get it all out if it just takes out one item? Well, you can go ahead and press T and just keep pressing T while aiming at it, and it cycles through different things. So you'll press T, you'll take something out, and press T and you'll put it back in there. It's not ideal. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, it's not ideal if you got a bunch of stuff stored in there like I do. You're like, okay, I want that big log. No. 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 Yes, okay. And if you're going too fast, of course, you'll right-click. I don't know if they're going to put in a proper inventory system in the future. I kind of hope they will. But as of right now, that's the way you go through it. Please note, also, if you do not have the manipulation tool selected on your hotbar and you press T, notice I don't have this thing held there. They're just popping out. So, yeah, everything will just pop out. So you got to have that manipulation tool selected or stuff will pop out. Please note also that if you were to go ahead and hit this crate and break it like we did the ones inside of the house. So let me pick this up and store all this stuff back inside there, nice and safe and soupsy daisy. I dropped it on accident. There we go. Nice and safe and sound. If you were to go ahead and break it, all of a sudden everything that you just stuck in there comes popping back out of it, or actually even just sitting inside of it, but it will usually be spawned around it. Now let's go ahead and see one thing here that is a good test. Can you pick up and store random pieces of crap inside of it? No, it doesn't look like it. Like I'm picking up these random things. I can't store those in there. One other thing I'm going to test really quickly is, can you store a torch inside there? So let's go ahead and get ourselves a little torch, shall we? Like this one right here. And let's do a J so we can freely place it. And let's go ahead and pick it up with the manipulation tool. And let's try putting it inside a small chest. No dice. A bigger chest? Yes, you can. So you can actually store a torch, oops, inside there. Of course, you might have a few other things stored in there, like I had that random table. Anyway, let's go ahead and do a shift. Oh, no, come on. A shift T on this, because there's one other thing. And in fact, to demonstrate this one, we're going to go ahead and place this right in the middle. We're also going to light up our scene because it has gotten dark, and I don't feel like setting it back to daytime. And then what we're going to do is place a fair few of these torches. So let's just keep placing torches here. Ton of brightness. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and grab these and put as many of as I can back in that container. Okay, so there we go. It's full up. I was putting a few other little things in there as well. Oop, and I right-click that. Unfortunately, I can't pick up this whole crate, apparently. I've left-clicked on it. It's not moving. But anyway, now that it's all full up, you can do a Shift-T, and that instantly ejects everything that's inside the crate all around it. So there you go. Now we have a bunch of torches instantly ejected, and almost looks like a coffin or something in a massive tomb. Yeah, that's that. So that's pretty cool. There's one other thing I think they've added in this update that I haven't forgotten, and that would be the wonderful backspace button. Just like in Medieval Engineers, you can now press backspace to kill yourself. So backspace, yes, I would like to suddenly die. It pops in the third person, you can see your corpse fall to the ground terribly, and you respawn, and it's spawned me right next to one of my structures here. Yeah, right by where we just were, actually. And it spawned me in flight mode, too. One other thing I do have to show you guys is this large structure up here. If we go all the way up to the top, I have some crates here, and I've actually just filled them up. And I just thought, for the end of this video, it might be nice for you guys to see if I can find the character tools. Yeah, this will do. To break a few things full of chairs. I didn't expect so much smoke. I expected more chairs, less smoke. Let's see during the day. Does it look better during the day? Let's get it, like, there we go, 8 o'clock-ish. Oh, I missed. Oh, well, there's some more chairs spewing out of that one. Yep, okay. Anyway, guys, that's it for this update. It's pretty cool. I suspect you can't store wreckage and rubble inside those crates, considering maybe in the future probably you'll be able to store actual rubble. But right now it looks like you can't store pieces of stuff. They just sort of, well, they don't want to be stored. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you a bunch for watching. And, hey, is that such an interesting mess. And I shall see you guys next time. Ta-ta. Oh, hello, tree. Oh, right. And if you guys just happen to still be watching, you know, all these little tiny supports I'm breaking, they still don't have a break state, but placing blocks near them now, they no longer just disappear. It's pretty damn awesome. Oh, there we go. Now everything's going. Yeah, it was only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. I said only a matter of time. Time. There we go. From the crate, the torch has come forth to destroy all the things. It's the doom, the torch, it's the doom, the torch, it's the doom, the tortured thing. Oh, I'm still recording. Oh, oops.